In a world where sports have stretched beyond the fabric of reality and podcasts became as common as potholes, there were two guys in Morgantown, West Virginia who desired to do something different. These two guys came up with an idea to bring real life back to the arena of sports and hopefully be somewhat entertaining along the way. These two guys are certainly no experts, and they're definitely not comedians. They just think they are. This is the Extra Medium Podcast, and here are those two guys.
And here we go. Welcome, everyone. It is Season 2, Episode 10 of the Extra Medium Sports Podcast. We are just two plus-size guys living in an extra medium world. Hello and welcome, everyone. I'm Justin Jackson, sports editor of the Dominion Post.
And I'm Matt Amory, former WVU lineman and state champion at Morgantown High.
We are also joined by Michael Griffith, sports
legend
of the Dominion Post. Legend.
The legend, man. The legend.
Michael is currently in Super Bowl hangover after his New England Patriots were shellacked.
Yeah.
I spelled shellacked right in the notes on this one, too.
I was sounding out, man. That looks good. You had to go spell check for that, or you had it?
No, I went spell check.
Okay.
The Patriots were shellacked by the Seattle Seahawks in Super Bowl 60, 29-13. Michael, real quick, do you have any points you want to make for your fellow Patriot fans out there?
We'll be back.
We'll be back? You hear that? Was it Terminator here?
Yeah.
What a defensive game, though.
Yeah.
Will Campbell.
Yeah.
I mean, that was tough.
You got two rookies on one side of the offensive line. It's tough.
You know, you find someone to exploit on that offensive line, and those boys went
Honestly,
at it.
I think, man, the way that the Seahawks blitzed their corners was just incredible.
But the blitzes from both sides.
Yeah, it was all. I mean, what can you do?
They had this exotic blitz bringing two of the outside linebackers. There might have been a safety. The defensive end is out guarding. I mean, that's just.
I mean, they honestly looked like they blitzed a defensive back like once a drive. It was crazy almost. And it worked. I mean, but, we'll be back. And I told somebody yesterday, it was weird how I woke up on Monday and was like, oh, okay, we lost. But, I wasn't, super hurt because we'll be back, man. We got second-year quarterback. And honestly, Drake just played a bad game.
That's my one question. What's your evaluation on Drake May?
He just played a bad game.
He was an MVP candidate. Mm-hmm. Most people thought he should have won the MVP this year. But after watching him in that game, and I think he came out and said he had shoulder work done, right?
Yeah,
right
they were talking about that the couple of weeks leading up to it. Yeah.
But your talk now on Drake May. What your thoughts?
Like I said, so I told someone yesterday too. They kind of someone argued that it was a bad play calling on offense. I didn't think it was bad play calling. Drake just missed throws. I mean, he really just missed throws. They had. Multiple. You could go back in the first half and look at 4 plays where if he just threw the ball accurately, it's a first down. It extends the drive. There were so many that you could point out to.
Tom Brady wouldn't have missed those.
Wow!
Not the GOAT.
But when there are,
I'm talking like Tom Brady now.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
45 years.
That's true. You're probably right.
46 or whatever, however old he is.
So I just think Drake just played a bad game. He scrambled decently when he got away. He was able to pick up first downs, but he just didn't make throws. That's really what it comes down to, in my opinion. So your defense gave you a chance.
Your talk on the Super Bowl.
Well,
you said defensive, right? So that's probably right up your alley, right?
Well, so I'm not the one saying this, but they did say the Patriots had an easy way.
Decent schedule. Yeah, we had a decent schedule.
Decent playoff schedule to get
which they won't have next year.
They won't have next year.
A little harder, yeah.
And who feels the worst right now? I think the Vikings might even feel worse than the Patriots. Sam Darnold, Super Bowl champion.
Giving up on Sam to go with J.J. McCarthy.
Golly whiz.
After 14 wins.
And with Drake May missing passes, you never know what's really going on. It could have been in the right spot. Was the receiver in the right spot? Was the guy getting jammed? Was someone in his face? Who knows? Stephon Diggs got so many things going on. There's just a lot of things. But golly, you would have told me Seahawks Patriots before the season. I'd say I'll put the bank account on.
We got to give a shout out. We got to give a shout out to Matt here because maybe you should have put your bank account on the game. You were 1 point away from the score. You predicted 28-13 for the Seahawks.
So I told the legend I'm good for one every 10 years.
Yeah.
So one every 10 years, I decided to use it.
You like 11 o'clock the other night. I was like, bro.
And you know what? That made it all worth it, man. It made it all worth it.
I went into it last week saying I didn't think this was a Super Bowl that just really gripped my interest.
Yeah.
Having watched the game now, did it live up to your expectations? Was it an exciting Super Bowl?
I think those are hard questions to answer. The expectations,
that's
not
what
really.
I'm here for. It's my job.
Was it an exciting game? I thought it was. I thought it was hard-nosed football. It was literally a game of inches.
Yeah.
The plays that were being made were wonderful. However, if you take let's say the generic fan, I don't know if generic, whatever the word is, I don't know if that's a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
However, there is one thing that's always fun, and that's when your team wins. So if you're a
I'll say
Seahawks
this.
fan,
If you don't typically watch football, like if you're just like a non-NFL fan that like watches the playoffs, you watch the regular season game.
Yeah.
On Sunday.
Yeah.
That's what I think. Like the Super Bowl just looked like a regular season game. 3-0 at the end of the first quarter, like 9 or whenever it was at halftime. That's just what it was to me. It just looked like a normal regular season game between two good teams, you know what I mean? And one team just played bad and the other team played a really good game.
What are your thoughts after watching it?
I thought it was like just a regular Thursday night.
Yeah, exactly.
There's that
NBC
little
broadcast.
TNF out there,
That could've
Thursday
been-
Night Football?
That could have been a regular season broadcast.
Gotcha.
It would have
Yeah.
seemed like to me.
Yeah.
I mean, outside of the halftime show, obviously.
Right,
But
right.
Yeah.
So
all right, on the show today, Matt, we've got a good one today.
Let's go, man.
In just a few moments, we are going to have Trinity boys basketball coach Mitchell Bland joining us, and I'm very excited to get a chance to meet him because I don't really know much about him, but he has got the Warriors ranked currently, just moved into the top 10 in the coaches poll after they defeated then number 4 Clay Battelle 59-49. That was a game last week. That was a huge win for Trinity, and of course they have Michael will tell us here in a little bit. They've got Austin Porter, who we've mentioned on the show a couple of times. The guy just scores 20, and he scores 30. And has he dropped 40 yet?
not yet.
Not
No,
yet.
not
Okay,
yet.
he hasn't dropped
Gotten
40.
close though.
He's gotten close. So, I mean, this kid just scores. Trinity is winning, and we're going to find out a lot about Mitchell Bland today.
And I tell you what, it may not feel like it with all the snow piled up around town, although those temperatures are getting a little bit higher. Who knew we'd be excited for the 30s, but we'll save that for another show. But the college baseball season is about to begin this week as West Virginia travels to Georgia Southern on Friday to begin a 3-game series. And how about the 19th-ranked WVU women's basketball team? The Mountaineers have 5 games remaining in their regular season and are currently in a 4-team race for the Big 12 championship.
We're going to get into all of that and what will hopefully be an interesting discussion on how or even if it's possible that those two sports, WV baseball and WV women's basketball, can carry the banner, if you will, for WVU athletics. We're going to get into all of that. But before we do, we have to get through some technical stuff. Matt, who sponsors our show?
Oh, I'm glad you asked, my friend. The Extra Medium Sports Podcast is brought to you by the Hotel Morgan. Whether you're interested in hosting a sophisticated corporate retreat, a joyful baby shower, or a spectacular wedding reception, Hotel Morgan provides a backdrop steeped in nearly a century of Morgantown's history, reimagined with the boutique comfort and 1920-era charm. We take pride in making every event a memorable and stylish experience.
And Matt, where can you find our podcast?
You can always find a link to the Extra Medium Sports Podcast at www.dominionpost.com or find us on social media at Spotify and YouTube.
It is now time to bring in Trinity boys head basketball coach Mitchell Bland. His Warriors are 13-3 on the season. They defeated, like we said earlier, Clay Battelle last week, 59-49. In that game, senior guard Austin Porter finished with 27 points. Coach Bland, it's very nice to meet you, and how have you been?
I have been well, especially after that victory, right?
Right. I mean, Clay Battelle was number 4 at the time. That was your first win against a ranked team this year, right?
That's correct. Yes.
So just kind of take us. I mean, that's kind of a budding local rivalry, maybe with Trinity and Clay Battelle. Just kind of take us through that game and what it meant for your guys.
Well, I mean, coming into that game, obviously we were, as Michael probably alluded to, wanted a little respect. You know what I mean? And it was hard to get that with the schedule we had, even though we did play some prep teams outside the conference that I thought would give us a little bit of that, but we didn't win any of those. So, but going into that game, we felt like, we knew what we needed to do to get a win, but that's just half the battle. Performing that was the other battle.
Right.
And I think we played a really great game on both sides of the ball. I think that our core players stepped up, played great defense. That's kind of my identity and our team's identity, and any team I've ever coached identity is to be able to, when things aren't working our way, we rely on something that doesn't need to touch the basketball.
Well, Coach, you're kind of getting that respect now. You're ranked number 10, right, in the rankings this week. First time Trinity has been ranked this season. obviously, there's still more games to go and postseason's coming up, but just seeing Trinity next to that state ranking, what's that mean for you?
That means a lot for my guys. You know what I mean? And they work really hard. I just, the rankings are the rankings, but at the end of the day, we're hoping to see our name in the idea of Charleston is where we're looking for. So that's our goal this year. And, I mean, it's not that we've not succeeded if we don't meet that goal. Obviously, from last year to this year, we look way different. From 5-16 to 13-3, that's a big change. But it really came with the players wanting to be successful this year.
Yeah, Coach, I thought a big key for that game the other night was you guys on the glass, offensively, defensively, because Clay Patel's got some big boys. Like you said, they're football players, man. They're out there. They're ready to bang. They're ready to get going, ready to box you out and move you out of the way. But you guys played really well in rebounding, I thought was big. And you guys, I mean, outside of Colin Limley, who's 6'7", 6'8", you guys don't really have a lot of size either, So just talk to me about your toughness and how much did you emphasize the rebounding battle coming into that game?
I mean, we know it's always an issue with us because of our size, but I mean, and the biggest thing is getting position. Like the game is, like I use the word IQ a lot. And I think that, most teams that don't have size or have something that they lack, can overwhelm that by having a better IQ, being in position to make the other team make mistakes. And I thought we did a great job of putting ourselves in front of them between the basket and them when we rebound and just do our best to come down with one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And then, like I said, I mentioned Colin. We mentioned Austin Porta. You also have junior guard Maddox Musadas, who is doing just as well as the other two and contributing. And you guys kind of have this, I told Justin a few weeks ago, kind of got this little big three going on, in on that team. But obviously they have a great supporting cast around as well, with a few players who show up when they need to. So just kind of talk to me about your roster up and down, and just obviously 4 wins last year, and here you are with 13. So just take me through the roster real quick and talk to me just about what has really been working for you guys, I guess.
I mean, what's been working is we're willing passers. You see the heavy three, but those guys are willing to make the extra pass when necessary. We're not ball dominant. That's called ball hogs. I like that new word, ball dominant. You know what I mean? It doesn't sound as bad, right? But some coach said that one time, and I said, I'm definitely taking that one.
Using that one.
Right.
No, 100 times, yeah. But no, I mean, we just don't get caught up in ourselves. Like talking about my roster, I mean, you got Colin Limley, that's 6'7". He's a double-double machine. He does the intangible sometimes. Michael heard somebody say, hey, he didn't have a good game against Clay Patel, and he had 8 points and 14 rebounds and 3 assists, and you know what I mean, 2 steals. I mean, that's I'll take that all day.
Right.
I like bad games. But he's one of those kids that really wants to be successful. And when you put a bunch of these kids together, like Austin Porta, that's averaging a ton of, he's not, so his average actually went up this year with a team that plays better together.
Right.
His percentage from the field has went up. And so that says a lot about our team, that he's, taking the right shots. Everybody seems to be taking the right shots. Maddox Musadas, he is my point guard most of the time that can get to the rim. Make some mistakes, but that's what point guards do. They have the ball in their hand the most. He probably will make the most mistakes. But I love him to death. You got the 2 glue guys like I love. One's my kid, but he's willing to not make points.
Right.
He's willing to play defense. I mean, he played, against the point guard and made sure that he had 1 assist and 2 points the whole entire game. You got Ty Hudson. Huggins had 6 points, one of which was at the buzzer, a 3 at the buzzer. So these guys know, I hate to say role players because I don't like role players. They know what they need to do in order for our team to be successful.
Yeah.
I hate saying things that I feel like are things that people use lightly, like role players. They're not allowed to shoot. They're allowed to shoot. They just take the right shots.
Yeah.
And then you got some of my bench that's coming along. Like I'm getting more comfortable with using my bench. We have 3 guys, Christian Humberson, Jonathan Shefstall, Briar Archer, and then Colin Friend. That's actually 4. Those guys feel more confident in them getting a few minutes to give our guys breaks. And then the rest of the crew are young, so we're still molding them. But good group of kids, wonderful group of kids.
Hey, Coach, this is Justin, and we're on the line here again with Coach Mitchell Bland of the Trinity Warriors, boys basketball coach. Coach, I'm interested in the big stats. I love Austin Porter's story. Question number one, I don't know if there's any way to even research this, but is he the leading scorer in the state? If not, he's got to be up there, right?
It's funny. He's definitely in the top 5, top 10 for sure. You know what I mean? It depends on where you look. You got some smaller Christian schools that shoot a lot. So I joke around about that. That's where I came from, so I joke around about that. But yeah, I would say he's in the top 5. But what I like more about his points is his percentage from the field.
Yes.
So obviously he shoots at a high rate. And you can't respect his game until you come and watch it.
Yeah.
Because he is not ball dominant. Matter of fact, probably one of the most willing passers on the team, but just takes the right shots at the right time.
Yeah. Yeah. And like
matter
you
of fact,
said,
sometimes I have to be like mean to him and say, "Listen, man, you need the ball in your hand, brother."
yeah, honestly.
Go get the ball, dude.
Yeah.
And how did his game develop from, you obviously coached him last year to this year? How much did his game develop in the span of that 1 year? I mean, I guess what my question is what brought about this sudden burst of scoring out of him?
I mean, it's his IQ. Like, I literally like coaching IQ. And it's hard sometimes. That's why last year wasn't so successful, because I don't feel like we had a high IQ. And once you get a group of guys that understand the game at a different level, then their performances are all going to look better. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that he is a college player that can do well on any team, because he can shoot the lights out.
Yeah, and I think he also, like you kind of said, he doesn't do anything extra, like you know how people kind of say when someone goes out and gets a quiet 20 or a quiet, like sometimes you look up and Austin's got 20 points and you're like, oh, he's been banging these threes all night, like, and you don't even really realize it. Like, that's just kind of how his game is to me. Is just like one of those silent assassins, you could kind of say. He just goes out and just kills you without even making noise. Really, it's kind of crazy. Yeah,
and I think to add to that is that a lot of people would say, well, Mitchell, he puts his whole offense around Austin because he scores a lot. No, that's why it's hard to guard our team and say we'll take the top 3 out, because we I don't want to give away what I do, but
go ahead. Coach.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
I'm giving all my secrets.
Give all the secrets away here.
Too many people may listen, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, those guys get theirs because they're ready to get theirs. You know what I mean? When the time comes. So I'll say that, and off the air we can talk a little bit differently.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, I love what you said earlier. You have a defensive identity, play hard, consistency, high IQ. How do you get the kids to buy into that culture? That's very, very difficult, and I love what I'm hearing. How are you doing that?
Some kids hate me. Some kids love me. It's funny because I've coached for 1,000 years, and the kids that I tend to have relationships with outside of the game, whenever they leave or graduate, are the ones that really want to put in the effort and know that my goal for them is to allow them to be more successful than they think they can be, and keep preaching that to them on the day-to-day. I'm hard on them, but they understand that the reason I am is because I want more for them probably than they want for themselves.
I love to hear it, and it's almost like you're taking them to a level that they didn't even know that they could get to.
100%, yeah.
Well, Coach, you kind of talked about you've been coaching for 1,000 years. Let's get into your background a little bit. I know you kind of mentioned you're from Fairview, Marion County boy, not too far from where we are now. Went to North Marion. So just kind of talk to me about your background in basketball, where you're from, and what kind of brought you 20 minutes north.
Oh man, I coached all over Marion County. Got into it when I was young. Had a bunch of great coaches that were very successful that I could grab things from and take what I liked, take what I didn't like, and create my own little mold Mitchell that you see today. But played at North Marion, decently successful there. The identity there was me just playing hard, and I didn't have a name, so like working hard was one of those things that I earned everything I got. So that identity was at our school and with my kids is I don't care what your name is or how much money your parents make, you earn everything you get in my programs. And that's not being mean. That's just the way I feel, and I think that, earning things will teach them lessons in life for later, bigger than the basketball life for sure. And then Morgantown came kind of crazy. I got to start a program at Morgantown Christian Academy, girls basketball actually.
Okay.
And they said, hey, we don't have a girls program. What do you think about starting one? I said, that'd be awesome. And then the first year I started a sixth grader, which was my daughter, on the high school varsity team, and we were 13. Whoa. And I said, yeah, it was cool getting beat to death by 100. I said, welcome to Morgantown, Mitchell.
Yeah, right.
But with doing that, like, that was my world pretty much, was the girls scene. And then the boys scene kind of came about. I coached an AAU team or two, boys, but mostly it was girls. Coached that team. 5 years later, we played for, a state championship, lost. Wow. But, it just molding that team. And then the boys program, kid graduated, dad left. We got to coach, a couple of years at Morgantown Christian boys. We were 10-10. The first year, second year, 17-5. Didn't get we finished third place. And then this Trinity job came available. And I said, hey, just wanted to test the waters in a WVSSAC school.
Right.
At a higher level, and they gave me the chance, and here I am. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. Coach, when you were in Marion County, did you also coach like boys and girls, or?
No, it was mostly girls.
Okay.
It was the era around when they were heavy and hot, and the Mariah Byard era when they were winning state championships and stuff. So I was able to coach some of those girls and here and there. And then I was at West Fairmont Middle School coaching there as well. That was always fun. I actually had to have a speech. I had to have a speech because that's a crosstown rival, right? So I had to have a speech. Why do you want to come to this school when you've coached in the Marion County, North Marion area?
Yeah.
Are you taking our kids?
The thing that I find interesting, because my experience with coaches over the years is that you don't see a lot of crossover from boys and girls. Like once a coach is coaching girls, he kind of sticks with girls basketball, or once a guy's coaching boys basketball, he sticks with coaching boys basketball. There's been some crossover, but not a lot. How has that transition been for you, and has that been unique for you at all, coaching on both sides, both boys and girls?
They're different. I'll be honest with you. Girls, every day they may come in with a smile, next day they're coming in crying.
Yeah.
So you got to figure it out. You know what I mean? And there's certain things that happen with girls that don't happen with boys that you got to figure out and know when that is. And then with boys, I feel like you coach up girls, and unfortunately, sometimes you got to coach down boys.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not always the case, but that was the tendency that I've seen the most difference is that, I hate to even say this word, but maybe the boys are a little more arrogant and think that they are better than they are.
Sure.
And girls, you got to kind of coach them to say, hey, you're better than you think you are. So I think girls were probably easier.
Coach,
with girls, I coached them like boys.
Yeah.
So like when I say that, when you get a team that's girls that plays like boys, we would scrimmage boys all the time because I wanted them to get that mentality to play against boys so that girls were easy.
Coach, that fascinates me, the story you just told about having your daughter as a sixth grader playing high school basketball. Is she still playing, and like where is she at now?
Nah, man, she just graduated her 2-year degree.
Oh, okay.
Matter of fact, her senior year, I didn't even coach her because I took the boys' job because I knew it probably wouldn't be available at MCA. So I wanted that cross track because I have 2 boys. And most people say, well, you just protect your kids and you want your kids to play. That's not the case. I actually want my kids to have good coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that they get pushed at a level that I wanted pushed when I played. Yeah. So, ask my kids. I'd love for you to ask my kids. If you ever see them out, ask them if their dad's favorite kid. Zero chance. Matter of fact, my daughter's last year, I coached her. She didn't start. Does she deserve to start? Probably, but.
Well, she was starting in the 6th grade. I mean, you know.
Yeah, right.
yeah. No, she worked hard. She just didn't desire to want to play at the next level or anything like that. Yeah. So she's going to go to beautician school right now, and so I'm happy for her.
Yeah. Coach, I kind of want to dive into single A a little bit now. We've talked to 2 quad A coaches in Mon County, Dave Tallman and Joe Schmidl at Morgantown University, and we've mentioned that quad A is super deep this year. Everybody's beating up on everybody. It doesn't matter if you're number 1, you're number 10. You know, you gotta come out every night. I feel like Class A is starting to get that way a little bit as we go down the stretch. You know, your number 10 team in the coaches poll has 13 wins now. So, let's talk about the Class A a little bit. And obviously, your Region 1 is absolutely loaded. You have 11 teams in one region for 4 spots, and in that region, I think 3 or 4 of the top 10 teams are in there right now, including Park Catholic, who's number 1, and Clay Battelle now, and you guys. So just talk to me about the class this year, the depth of it, and what it really brings challenge-wise as far as, you know, entering the postseason where any game can truly be your last.
Totally. I mean, we leave out the name Ritchie County because they were in there until this week. You know what I mean? And, you know, so, I mean, we got 4 teams that I personally think could win games in Charleston. And it's unfortunate that only 2 of those teams are going to get a chance to play down there. But, you know, I mean, it's a fight that everybody, I mean, each year is going to look different. So next year maybe ours isn't so heavy as it is this year. And it's unfortunate that there's so many teams that are good that 2 is not going to get to make a chance down there to prove themselves. But you got some of the other, I mean, there is good teams. I mean, when you look at the top 10, I mean, as much as I hate being 10, I can't argue with the other ones that are in front of us because I haven't, you know what I mean? They all have. It's going to be a fun time in Charleston is what it's going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. All 4 classes, really, not just quad A, single A. I mean, totally. West Virginia high school basketball is insane.
Awesome as well. Yeah, man, it's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So, yeah, just going from that, I mean, just Morgantown. I know you're from Marion County and grew up around basketball, but I'm sure you were probably in Morgantown a lot, either playing or coaching or watching. So, and since you've been here too, just really the basketball in the community. You know, we talk about that a lot. We talk about football schools or basketball schools, or, you know, Morgantown kind of sometimes feels like a basketball city to me. So, talk about the area. Obviously, you're at a small private school in a city that has 2 of the largest public schools in the entire state. So just talk about that dynamic and just kind of talk about the area and what you've seen, how you've seen basketball progress since you've joined. And you've been at all different levels, too, which is nice.
Yeah. I'll tell you, like, Morgantown to me is very competitive, and I love that. Marion County was, too, with the East Sides, the North Marions, West Fairmonts. But those were kind of, I mean, that's who you have there. Here, you know, you got the Quad A schools, which are the dominant schools. I know that we're, you know, the lesser of, but I don't want my guys to feel that way.
Sure.
I feel like, you know, looking at these other schools and, like, you know, knowing that they do have, you know, college potential players on their team, I don't want anybody to lose track that a single A kid can do the same thing.
Yeah.
And that's why I got 2 kids that you know, they're seniors that will go play college basketball after the season, and I think that says a lot for our program. And that's where I want my program, our program, and to be. And I'll be honest with you, and I forget to do this a lot, and it's shame on Mitchell. But you know, I think personally in my career, God has really blessed me with having the ability to have platforms like this that we can be successful in. And I love the competitive. Like when you look at Morgantown, holy, like their third string probably could beat most teams. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the 100 kids come out for tryouts. I'll be, oh my goodness.
Yeah, we talked about that with Dave Tallman actually.
Yeah, I mean that's insanity. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad that all the teams this year, honestly, are successful. So, like, I think that's the fun part about it is that university still is, you know, they're a quad A school, so they have to compete with Morgantown. They're still successful regardless. So it's a fun time. I love Morgantown. I just don't like the city part. That's why I live in Maysville. I live on the outskirts.
Yeah.
Smart man, you got to watch out for
County.
those roundabouts around here.
Oh, holy, yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
God.
we have those,
Golly.
yeah, they're a little different in Morgantown. We have
Jeez
one
Louise,
in
I'm telling
Fairmont.
Yeah.
Fairmont has it, but they're just not as aggressive, you know what I
Right.
mean, as they are here, yeah.
And they're all
I
in
try
one
to stay
spot in
away
Fairmont,
from
which
those.
is nice.
They're bigger, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And there's hardly ever cars on it, so we're
Yeah.
in great shape, guys.
So, Coach, we're coming down the stretch of the season now. I mean, you guys are going to have your hardest games in front of you. I know it's only Tuesday. This episode will release on Thursday, but tonight you play a big OVAC semifinal against Frontier, Ohio. A good team coming into the Hill tonight in Saberton. I know it's really exciting for you guys. You guys have had some great crowds, great student crowds at the games recently, and I know that's something you posted on your social media the other day was thank you to the cheerleaders and the students and all that. Just talk about the community at Trinity Christian, man. Just how they've embraced you and like your son came in with you and all that stuff. Just kind of talk about the school there. I've obviously covered it for a few years, and it feels like they just welcome everybody who comes up there. And just talk about the community of Trinity Christian a little bit.
No, I'll be honest with you. I think that anybody that comes in feels that love and compassion for the people, and it makes you want to do the right things. You should want to anyhow, but it makes you want to do the right things. And just when I came in, I wanted the people to love what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? Whether it's feeding pizzas to the student section to get them to come, or have an elementary program now that we didn't have in a long time, so we can get those families to come in. It's a family, and it feels like a family. When we do things, it's family. They get behind you. I mean, it's hard to get behind teams that lose. Last year was hard. You know what I mean? And and I'm just being honest. You know that. I mean, it is it's reality, unfortunately. And I'm glad that we've been successful, and they want to get around us and support us. And they've been wonderful, and the cheerleaders have been wonderful, and the parents have been wonderful. And we just I could tell you some things off the air that that we do outside of the game of basketball, and been able to help families out and whatnot.
Yeah.
Just it's a great atmosphere, man.
Yeah. And then last but not least, 13 wins. We're going down to the last stretch, like I said, about the last month of the season. Are you the kind of coach that, when you're going into the postseason and all this, and your mindset has to change a little bit, but are you more of a, ain't broke, don't fix it, or is it more of like, each game I'm going to try to give them a different speech? Like, what is that for you right now when your team is rolling like they are, but you know that you're going to have your hardest games in front of you?
Well, with the new program, like I would love to say, like I've been here for 5 years and everybody knows what to expect, but that's not the case. So, like, I think this year finally we understand. I got a group of guys I've had for a second year for most part, and even Colin Lindley coming in, I've had him in the past, so like he knows what I expect. You know what I mean? I just think going down the stretch, we don't get complicated. And the way I coach is like, and it's fun because when people try to scout me, like I change the way we do everything based on the team we play.
Okay.
So when you're looking for something that's, some people may like try to get my inbounds plays and stuff, but those are things that, go ahead, because like the game plan is going to change each game based on who you have.
Right.
And that's what I love about these guys and why we have to have IQs, because like when we do that, that's hard for a lot of players to change things, maybe a day or two practice, wise. So we're not going to change much. We have things in our thing that nobody's seen before, so we do have those.
Yeah, right.
But at the end of the day, we're going to stay true to who we are and see what it looks like down the stretch, guys.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach, we really appreciate the time. Good luck to you guys this year, and hopefully we get to see you down in Charleston here in about another month.
I won't hate you guys for that. You know what I mean?
Coach, thanks so much for the time, and we'll see you down the road.
All right, man. Thanks, guys. Really appreciate you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, man. Good luck tonight.
That was Trinity boys basketball coach Mitchell Bland. And okay, just a second here, we'll be getting into our deep dive discussion of WVU athletics. But first, Matt, let's get in a sponsor plug.
Well, the Extra Medium Sports Podcast is brought to you by the Hotel Morgan. Host your guests in an elegant setting utilizing our refined meeting spaces, including 2 dedicated boardrooms and state-of-the-art conference technology. Elevate your event with delicious catering and craft cocktail services delivered by our on-site cafe and bar, Anvil and Axe.
I'm really interested now. We're going to talk about some WVU athletics. Michael, Matt, I'm really interested in your guys' hot takes here. But first, let me set the scene. But first, let me tell you what I'm going to do. You mentioned the WVU baseball team, Matt, earlier.
Yeah.
They begin. I'm going to do the $1 challenge. You guys
$1
ready?
challenge.
This,
I was wondering why this $1 bill was laying out here.
I'm throwing this out there.
Okay.
This is not in the script.
Oh, okay. We're going off script,
The
folks.
WVU baseball team travels to Georgia Southern to begin the season on Friday. What town or what city in Georgia is Georgia Southern located?
Oh, so we can't
$1
phone a friend.
challenge.
You can't go chat GPT.
No, you can't call a friend. You can't. Yeah.
I don't think I know it.
Okay.
I
I have the stadium in my mind because
You
I
wanna
play
take a
a lot of
guess?
NCAA football on PS5. I have the
You
stadium.
played Georgia Southern.
We
and-
played Georgia Southern. Amazing
Oh,
stadium.
okay.
They have amazing,
All right.
an amazing football stadium. Okay, let's see here. Is it okay? We can't ask for hints, can we?
No.
I don't know.
You know what? I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna say Savannah.
No.
Okay.
Close. Statesboro. Statesboro.
I knew it was going to be
Georgia.
That was the second guess.
Yes.
He didn't let me finish. That's 10 cents at least.
Okay, so here's
You win this round, good sir.
right.
We'll be
so I'm
back.
gonna-
We'll
I'm
be
gonna
back
set
in
the-
action.
We're going to set the scene here on this story because the WVU baseball team is about to open up their season Friday. They go down to Georgia Southern. The baseball team was just picked earlier in the week. They were picked to finish third in the Big 12 preseason poll. That is the highest the Mountaineers have ever been selected in that coaches preseason poll for the Big 12. WVU, the baseball team, has been to 3 straight NCAA tournaments, and for the last 2 seasons, as you know, the Mountaineers have advanced to the Super Regionals, which in the baseball terminology is basically the Sweet 16s of the NCAA baseball tournament. The WVU women's basketball team is currently ranked 19th in the country. Mountaineers have 5 games left in the regular season, and they are currently a half a game behind Baylor for the Big 12 lead in the standings, but they do own the tiebreaker with Baylor. So, because they beat Baylor earlier in the month, 70-60. So it's kind of a virtual tie between Baylor and West Virginia for the current top spot in the Big 12. There's also TCU is in there. Texas Tech is in. It's kind of that four-team race going down the stretch for the Big 12 title in women's basketball. With a strong finish, it's very likely WVU could be a regional host for the first time in school history in the opening rounds of the NCAA tournament. Like the baseball team, WVU has played in the last 3 NCAA tournaments in women's basketball. So my question to you guys, and Matt, you are a former WVU athlete. Does this excitement around the WVU women's basketball team and the baseball team get you fired up about WVU athletics as a whole?
Just you talking about this and the success and the progression of WVU athletics, because I remember, yes, it does. It does. And the growth, not only the growth of the sport, but I remember WVU baseball. I'm watching the team play down by the track.
Yeah,
Remember
Holly
those?
Field.
Oh, the old Holly
Yeah,
Field.
great. It was a great environment. But look at this now. I mean, this is awesome. And I've been a WVU women's basketball fan since the Mike Carey days. But to see the team like this, absolutely it gets me fired up for the old gold and blue. Not to sound like a generic broken record, it gets me excited. And it's been more consistent with these teams.
Right.
You would hear WVU women's soccer every now and then, and WVU men's soccer, and taking it, but there might be some. Where do they play the championships for baseballs in Nebraska?
Omaha.
It might make it to Omaha, man. Who knew? Who knew?
Michael, what say you? What's your general thoughts?
Yeah, Matt kind of made a good point. It's exciting to see the year-by-year improvement in both of the programs. I mean, both have been on a upward trajectory for the past 5 years, you can really say, and it's kind of odd to say because they both have gone through coaching changes. The women's basketball team has had 3 and 4 years.
Hey, man, those women's
but they kept going. And another thing I made the point to someone is like WVU women's this year, they lost arguably their best player they've ever had in the program last year in J.J. Quinterly.
And they might end up doing better.
And they might end up being a better team, and that comes down to coaching. Build the Mark Kellogg statue.
Love it.
Anyway, yeah, I mean,
get the statue ready.
Get the statue ready. But yeah, so that's kind of how I take it. It's like, any sports fan of any team in any sport, it could be lacrosse, it could be cricket. You want to see progression. You want to see positive, consistent growth. And the WVU baseball team and the WVU women's basketball team have been the two programs in the entire athletics at the school that have done that for the past 5 years.
So
Well, that's kind of my point. Does the fact that it's baseball and women's basketball, does it create enough excitement to replace the disappointment that you might have in football and in men's basketball, which obviously the men's basketball team at the moment doesn't look like it's going to make the NCAA tournament
Right.
for what would be a third year in a row. Does baseball and women's basketball move the needle enough to replace that disappointment?
I think so. I think with this fan base, they can rally behind Rifle. You know what I mean? Like, let's talk about the Rifle team.
Oh, love me.
And
the
I know
Rifle.
they don't have sold out crowds at
Yeah.
the Rifles, where they do their rifle competitions, but just this fan base is known to rally around wins, around winning. Like, that's just how WVU is, and they're supportive. And sometimes they cannot be supportive when it's not going good. But let's say that too. But but when it is going well, WVU gets behind their people, I think. So.
I will let you know this. WVU fans will speak their minds unapologetically, and when you're winning and when you're building a team, does it completely take the pain away from maybe not the best football season, not the best basketball season? I don't know. That's a deep pain. That's subjective. It could be person to person. But golly, at least puts a Band-Aid on it, or I got some inflammation and I'm popping some Advil.
Makes you forget about it for a
makes you
second.
forget about it. But it's also great to see as an athletic department as a whole, like things are being ran good. Things are being ran good by Ren.
Well, you even look at our men's soccer team.
The
Like
men's
they've been on the same trajectory. You could probably put them in that group, honestly, because they went to a Final Four 2 years ago, and Stratford is, he's only lost like 5 games at home in however long he's been here. So the men's soccer team as well. I think that's a good point to make that Matt says about just the entire athletics. All these Olympic sports, all these other sports that people say like they're getting on the up and up here.
And it's exciting times because I do remember too where we've had wonderful football teams, competing basketball teams, but the other sports.
Well, that was when you were in school.
That's when I was in school. I remember those.
Now that's the ultimate pinnacle, right? I mean that carry when it is football and men's basketball, it carries the banner very easily,
absolutely.
And all of a sudden you're excited the whole year through.
But
even if those other sports aren't.
But if I could tell you, there was a gentleman. Correct me if I'm wrong. The wrestler Greg Jones.
Jones.
Yes.
I mean,
Three-time
he was
NCAA
yeah,
champ,
he was
right.
coming up at that same time too, and it was just awesome.
Yeah,
it was awesome to see and just.
Did you ever get in a tussle with him?
I haven't with him, but I have with the other wrestlers. And bro, you go into that.
You got to quit messing with the wrestlers.
Well, no,
he didn't mess with the natty champ.
No, look, I learned my lesson when Anthony Fucello had me tap out. He put me in the Stone Cold Stunner or the Rock Bottom at the same time. Look, you go into that W facility with that mat. Those boys are ready. And let me tell you, if you see somebody with that ear thing, you don't mess with them. You don't mess with anybody with that
cauliflower ear.
You see cauliflower ear, you don't mess with them. Golly,
you need to stick with the special teams like the kickers and the punters.
Yeah, those are my guys.
Right.
Kickers, punters, long snappers, man.
I did some research and I wrote down the notes. So I'm going to talk about it here for just a second. So last year, Michael was talking about with J.J. Quinterly, the program, the WVU women's basketball team set a program record with averaging 4,147 fans for their home games that year. Per game. That was per game, not for the whole year, obviously. This year, a year later, they are just under that. They're averaging, now they still have a couple of home games left.
Right.
But at the current moment, they are averaging 4,048 fans per home. Now, prior to Mark Kellogg's arrival, the school never came close to averaging 4,000 fans per home game, and now they're going to do it 2 years in a row. Yeah. So that obviously speaks to some excitement that Mark Kellogg
100%
to the program.
Yeah.
I also did this research. We're talking about WVU's path to a Big 12 title. So they still have a road game against TCU. That's on Sunday.
Yeah, it's this week. Yeah, or next week.
Before that, Baylor and TCU play each other. Now, TCU goes to Baylor. That game is actually Thursday night. It's tonight on ESPN. There might be some interesting people in Morgantown who might want to check that game out.
Oh, yeah.
Baylor and TCU still have to play each other twice.
Yeah.
I believe Baylor also has to play Texas Tech still.
They do.
And
On the road.
And TCU still has to play Oklahoma State.
Correct.
West Virginia has to
on
play,
the road.
Right. West Virginia has to play TCU on the road, but then they play Oklahoma State at home.
Yes.
And other than that, West Virginia, I mean, I'm not going to jinx anything.
No
Right.
jinxing.
But West Virginia's schedule, it's not a breeze. It's favorable.
Yeah.
Whereas TCU and Baylor still have to play each other twice, so on and so forth. When you kind of look at it in that sense, knowing that West Virginia has the tiebreaker,
I was going to say, yeah,
with Baylor. Now they don't obviously have it with TCU because TCU beat them in Morgantown at the buzzer. But if West Virginia goes on the road and wins at TCU on Sunday, that's
huge.
That paves the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. For a first Big 12 championship since, I believe, in women's basketball, 2014, I believe.
Yeah.
The last time they won, when, like you said, Mike Carey was there. Yeah.
And a couple of those games, too, way back in the day, you go to a women's basketball and just awesome players. I mean, Meg and Kate Bolger, and just great players, but it just wasn't getting the hype. It'd be 150, 200 people, 1,000 people for a huge game. So this is awesome to hear. There's a lot going on in Morgantown. There's a lot going on around the state, and especially with that darn snow, and people are getting to the games. I'd love to see it.
We're going to talk about WB baseball now. We have some breaking news. You want to do the didn't, you want to do
I don't know. I kind of went superhero there.
I put you
put me on the spot, man.
I put you on the spot. Big 12 baseball news. As we found out yesterday or on Monday, Coach Steve Saban's opened up the season with his preseason press conference. WVU pitcher Chase Meyer, who is supposed to be their top guy, right? I think he may end up being the best pitcher in the Big 12 by the end of the year. He is currently ranked the 64th best prospect by D1 Baseball for the 2026 draft. We found out on Monday that Chase Meyer is going to miss the first month of the season, unfortunately. That's bad news. Now, Matt, here's what happened. On his pointing finger, on his throwing hand, and I'm assuming that's the index finger, right?
Yeah.
He broke the tip of his index finger on his throwing hand. It happened, we're told it happened around Thanksgiving. So I'm kind of wondering, like, did the turkey fight back?
Oh, yeah,
But he is progressing slowly from that. Like, that's got to be painful.
Oh,
right?
my God.
The tip of especially for a pitcher, right, on your throwing hand. So he's going to miss the first month of the season. He is expected back once WVU kind of gets into the meat of its schedule, certainly well before the start of Big 12 play. Chase Meyer is expected to be back. And Coach Saban's also came out in the portal season, the recruiting season, signed 2 Division II All-Americans, and Dawson Monteza, Ian Korn. I'm very excited to see both of those guys. And also you have the key pitchers coming back from last year. You got guys like Reese Bassinger, Carson Estridge, and Max Yell, who had Tommy John surgery last year and missed last year. He's coming back and healthy. WVU's strength this year is going to be, and what may be one of the more deeper pitching staffs, rotations, starters, bullpen guys that you have in college baseball. That, to me, if you have pitchers, you got a shot.
Yeah, and that's been their problem in the past. In like the NCAA tournament two years ago when they played North Carolina, that was one of the problems, was the pitching depth. Like,
well, you run out.
That was the problem. So, hopefully that'll be something that can help them get over the hump this year if they do happen to go back to a super regional.
Season tickets for the Mountaineers, Matt, for baseball. Are you interested?
I'm interested.
Well, you can't. They're sold out.
Well, hey, man. He built me up just a little. Hey. And you know what? I deserve that for the. I went with the NFL draft thing, but we'll talk about that.
The baseball season tickets are already sold out. The program just continues to set attendance records on a yearly basis. I was going to go back and look at the WVU baseball attendance, and I didn't, because I'm pretty much sure they're going to break it.
They're going to break it.
They're going to break it again this year. So that is the building excitement around the 2 programs. I throw my hot take in.
Let's hear it.
I think I am, from a personal standpoint, I love it. I like what Michael was saying earlier, build Coach Kellogg a statue. I think Coach Kellogg is one of the most successful, unheralded coaches. Like, his name's not out like, you hear about Gino or him.
Right.
So I think Mark Kellogg is right there in that class. I think he's right there, and I think he's going to continue to be successful. I love Coach Saban's. What Coach Saban's has done, the way he's able to go out and recruit areas and find the hidden gems. He's looking in areas where other coaches don't even bother looking. He's getting guys from Canada, right? One of his top freshmen he signed this year, a pitcher named Ben Goodacre. He's like a big 6'4" guy. He's a Canada. He's a Canadian dude.
Yeah.
I love how he goes outside the box to find talent and the way he brings it together and builds up his WV baseball program. He's in that same caliber. I think he is right up in there with the top baseball coaches in the country. It's just you don't hear about it.
Yeah.
Right.
Not yet. I love it from a personal standpoint. I don't know if they carry the water, though. I think more people are just still disappointed by the football season and the fact that the basketball team's probably not going to make the NCAA tournament. I don't know if, yes, do they rally around it? Yeah, sure. But does it carry the banner?
Carry the same.
Well, it'll never make the feeling go away.
Right.
Nothing will ever make the feeling go away. I think of the NCAA tournament, especially for diehard fans. I mean, that's like your every team's goal. You know what I mean?
But see, it's not like that every like LSU baseball. It could. Like if LSU football team doesn't go to a bowl game, has a bad year, which I think it did last year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If LSU baseball goes on to win the national championship in the same school year, I think the LSU fans are, I'm sure. Are they disappointed about football? Yeah, sure. But they would go absolutely nuts over the baseball team. And I just
We're not there yet.
Right.
We're not there yet.
I think it's getting there because Kellogg and Coach Saban's continue to just keep building, trending upwards. I just don't know if it's there quite yet.
Yeah, that's interesting, though, because I hear some WVU fans say, like, all they want in their life before they die is a national championship for WVU in a sport. Or like
in a sport.
Hey, we got
sport.
rifle.
Okay.
You
Yeah,
tell
I mean,
them
a lot of
rifle.
people do
You
say,
tell them
like, the
rifle.
main sports, obviously.
Got you. Okay.
But I think, some diehard fans would just say any sport, really. And, man, like, a national championship, like, that would, at least for the 6 months that you would really be celebrating it as a fan base, it would carry some water. I think with West Virginia fans, like I said, it would probably vary by fan base.
You're booking that hotel room in Omaha right now, or what? I mean,
hey, or wherever the women's Final Four is this year.
Yeah, I mean, gee, God.
Anyway, I just like the women's soccer team. They made the national championship in like 2016, or I might not be the right year, and they lost. But there was
they were in the championship game.
There were so many people that probably didn't watch one women's soccer game that season that were rallying around that team and around that moment and like I told Justin, if the WVU women do end up hosting an NCAA tournament regional round, that place is going to be packed.
You think? See, that's
yes,
what
Justin. Justin, listen to me. I
think it depends on where the other three schools are from. Like if they've got to travel across the. You don't think it matters? Okay.
Well, the West Virginia fans are going to show up, man. I'm telling you, there will be people driving from Beckley to come to that game.
You think they would get 14,000?
I'm not saying 14,000,
Okay.
but 10,000. I think they'd get 10,000 people in there.
All right.
They'd probably never break that record again, to be honest.
It's a hot take.
That's a hot take. I like it though. I like.
But like we've said, it's the build up of where they are now. It's not like this is the first year that they've done this in 10 years.
Yeah.
Like they've been building to this.
They've been in contention for a host the last 2 years.
Right. And so it's every single year they have more people and more people and more people with eyes on them that are fans of WVU athletics. And once those fans that are fans of the institution see that team doing what they're doing, they're going to latch on to them. And I just feel like this year would be the perfect opportunity at the peak, not at the peak, hopefully, but so far at the top of where your program has been under Mark Kellogg, really in the last 8 to 10 years since 2014, like he said when they won the Big 12 title. So just my knowledge of being a West Virginia fan for 30 years and like just seeing the fan base and knowing the fan base, and like we said, the highs are high but the lows are low with the fans. Like, I just, a piece of me really thinks that if you get like a Saturday game, afternoon or evening, and WV, it doesn't matter if it's a 1 versus 16, man. I really think that Mountaineer fans will show up.
All right, Matt.
Winning does some amazing things.
It does.
Winning does some
All right.
amazing. We get to here. If we get to a spot we haven't been, I think we're going to take it the fans are going to show up like they have.
But the historical aspect
it's
is
gonna
what
be
you're talking
the first
about.
time ever. Yeah, that's.
Was it a women's game? I remember we had a women's game versus UCLA, and this is when I was in California. But I was watching, and it was packed. This was like a top, I think, a number 2 UCLA team. But I love what I'm seeing. This is a good conversation to be had because a couple years ago, are we even having this conversation?
Right,
like 10 years ago, 15 years ago? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. This is an awesome thing. Not to mention, golly, do I love those WVU baseball jerseys. Oh, man.
Did you see the women's throwback jerseys?
I haven't seen the women's store.
Dude,
They
they were
had
awesome.
them on last week, right?
Yeah, they looked awesome.
Yeah, there were the golds with the blue.
Yeah,
Oh, man.
it was
Yeah.
classic.
Okay.
All right, so hey, I like the discussion.
This is a great discussion. A great discussion. Love to see the progression of the WVU athletics.
Yeah, it's fun to watch for sure.
Michael, we appreciate the time, man. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week, right?
Yep, always. And at least I won't have to watch the Patriots play this weekend.
Hey, appreciate you, legend.
It is now time for our favorite segment. We call it What Caught Matt's Eye.
Matt's eye. No. Throw away the singing. We're not even doing that today. Chapel Hill
Actually,
North.
you were pretty good on
Did
that.
you like that?
Yeah, it sounded
Well,
pretty good.
shoot, I should have kept going.
Coming
Anyway,
in strong.
number 4, we're going to go to Chapel Hill, North Carolina. Number 4, Duke versus number 14, North Carolina. What caught my eye? The double court storm. Well, have you ever seen such a thing? So UNC Seth Trimble 3-pointer as time runs out. Bang! Game over. Fans storm the court. UNC wins. Not so
Right.
fast, my friend.
What they put on, like
0.4
2,
seconds.
or, yeah,
0.4 seconds left on the clock. They got to get all these people off the court. I mean, like it's not as if half people rush the court. No, this is mass chaos. They have to get all the people off the courts. One of the announcers even say the announcer has to tell them there's 0.4 seconds left. Everybody get off the court. The color commentator even said, I want to go check the court for loose change. All of a sudden, all those people were there, and then they disappear. But Duke inbounds, no luck. It was not
Right.
a Christian. There's no Christian Laettner again.
Christian Laettner on this day, right?
UNC wins. Fans storm again, and they complete the double court storm. UNC did get fined $50,000 by the ACC by this, but after the win, I think.
Well, that's I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
you.
no interruption whatsoever.
But that's the point I would make is do you fine him twice?
Oh my gosh, I like that. Guys, my chair we almost lost my chair, but I find him twice. And you know what you say after that win? You quote the great Randy Moss. How are you going to pay that? Straight cash, homie.
Yeah.
Hey, Justin, let me ask you this though: in your time covering WVU, was there any court rush or field rush that just caught your mind that you'll never forget?
The Kansas. The fans stormed the court. I forget the year. It was back when Juwan Staten, that bunch, Jonathan Holton.
Yes.
It was back during the Press Virginia
Oh
days.
man.
I forget the score. It was at the Coliseum, obviously. It was mass chaos after the game. And what I remember is Jonathan Holton. Now you got to remember, Jonathan Holton was 6'7", 6'8", pretty tall dude. He's over on the other side of the court. He's standing on the TV broadcasters table, which is on the other side of the court from where the scorers table is. He's standing on that TV table, and someone hands him their baby. And so Jonathan Holton, at 6'7", 6'8", whatever, he's standing up, and he's a mass of people.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And he's holding this baby up like the Lion
Yeah,
King.
the Lion
scene.
King's
Yeah.
going on here.
Yeah. So and even Jonathan joked about it after the game, saying he was Simba. Or something like that. So, but no, that's the one. I also remember. This might have been the game you were talking about. This was back in the John Beeline era when WVU beat UCLA in the Coliseum.
Yes.
That was a Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook.
Yeah. UCLA team.
That game was amazing.
There was a stork corn for that game, but no, the Kansas one and Jonathan Holton and holding up the kid. That to me, that's the one I'll always remember.
And growing up as a guys, I was a die-hard West Virginia fan. You couldn't even take. This is when I was a little kid. You couldn't even take me out in public. If I knew you were a Pitt fan, I'd try to throw a punch, and I'm 4 years old. But a couple years, you'd see the carrying out the field goal posts and all that. But there's just something different about a basketball court rush. That's. hits home, man. It hits right in the feelings.
That's good today, man. I like that. Was a good one.
I appreciate you, man.
That is all the time we have for today. We really do thank you guys for listening in. We want to thank Trinity boys basketball coach Mitchell Bland for joining us earlier, and we want to wish his Warriors and Trinity and Austin Porter good luck for the rest of the season. We will see you next week. Matt, take us home.
Hey, thank you for joining us today on the Extra Medium Sports Podcast, which is brought to you by the Hotel Morgan. Select a wedding venue where you can host your perfect ceremony and grand reception in one of our 2 magnificent ballrooms. From the restored historic architecture to the stylish, comfortable guest rooms for your party, Hotel Morgan provides an environment where every guest feels cared for in the heart of beautiful downtown Morgantown. Now booking 2026 dates in our brand new 8th floor ballroom. Lastly, this is the Extra Medium Podcast where the couches are safe, the chairs aren't safe because I think I might have broke mine, and the takes are fired. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week.